Hello and welcome to Patch. I'm your host Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad, I guess.
You've
Yes,
seen a
we're
lot of
good.
games lately.
Yes, there've been a lot of games. Plenty of games.
You were playing them right up until moments before we started.
Yeah,
You were
just fill
playing the
this
game that,
time.
of that list of Game Awards nominees for Game of the Year. Probably should have won it, but anyway.
Oh
We'll talk
well.
more about that when we get to our patched updates. So today, and we last week we went through a whole bunch of predictions for the Game Awards. Today we're going to kind of debrief on the thing. We're not going to go through every single announcement because that's a lot of announcements. Big ones, little ones, completely irrelevant ones. Lots of guests, lots of stuff to kind of pick through. So we'll go through some surface kind of level thoughts on the event as a whole a little bit later on. But we're going to talk about some of our favorite announcements. We're going to talk about the awards themselves, what we did and didn't kind of like / agree with, and then some overall thoughts before we wrap this one up. We're not going to go ultra in depth just because there's way too much. We're going to go through, like I said, our top 5 games, whether they're in order or not. I don't know, Mano, did you rank yours?
Not really. I'd say the last one is my number one, but the
Yeah,
other
right.
four just sort of float around because it.
Yeah, I hadn't given too much thought to my list, but yeah, probably my number one's pretty clear. And then, the other 4, similar to what I'm saying, I'll just kind of keep them.
Because to me, there were a lot of games there, but nothing said, wow.
Oh, okay. See, I wouldn't agree with that. My top 5 or maybe even 6 or so is totally in the WoW category, and then it's just the rest of the show
It's
where it
more,
kind of
it
goes
was like, it
balls up.
wasn't really wow for me. It was like, oh yeah, that game. I forgot about it.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm
That's
keen
pretty
to
much.
pick through your thoughts. So, drop one of your favorite games from the show on me. Not number one. We'll save number one for both of us until last.
Number one. For me, it was the game that I completely forgot about because it got shown last year. Then we just didn't hear about it ever since until the Game Awards, which was the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because the same thing, we saw a trailer for it. We thought, oh yeah, cool. There's our characters, and then nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more in it now than I was before. I was a little bit about the kind of co-op thing. Thinking of Avengers and the fact that Destiny and the Division and those sort of things. As much as I've enjoyed playing all of them, they don't stick. Like once I finish that main campaign, I usually bounce. Like there's not enough that kind of keeps me going, and this is kind of falling into that mold. So to an extent, so I've been a little concerned about that versus say Gotham Knights, which is still I think a straightforward path, like start to finish, and then you can just play it with friends if you want. Which I kind of appreciate that. So I do like what I saw, but not.
Yeah, I think I like what I saw,
Top
but I'm
five.
just looking at it going, please don't go down the path of that Avengers type, because that's what it feels like. It just feels like waves of enemies, and a Flash turns up and then disappears, and so on and so on. But could be wrong.
We could be wrong. I mean, look, it's Rocksteady. They're obviously awesome at what they do, so I suspect they've got a great game up at their disposal at the moment. But we'll see what happens. For me, that was one of my honourable mentions, so I guess I'll shout the rest of those out a little bit later on. One of my 5 was Alan Wake 2. In fact, I nearly and I was sitting. My circumstances for the Game Awards were interesting. I was watching it from work, midway through a full day meeting, and I just kind of whipped out the extra screen, sat it on the desk, had the laptop there, trying to engage in the meeting itself, but got the Game Awards kind of they're both ears covered by their headphones, tuning in. Alan Wake caused me to disrupt the meeting. Like when that popped up, I nearly exploded at the desk. I just couldn't believe that had happened. So,
a game. What it came out in
2011. It's 10 years ago since the original.
10 years ago. Haven't heard anything
Oh no,
about.
sorry, it was 2010. 2010, I should say.
It's 11.
It's 11.
But still, you don't hear nothing. Everyone wants give us an Alan Wake 2 and nothing, and then all of a sudden, bang.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was coming. Between the DLC for Control, then the remaster of the original earlier this year, or like 2-3 months ago. Like I figured at that point that there was going to be a second one, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. I didn't expect it to be a survival horror game now. As Sam Lake was kind of stressing afterwards, that it's not like the first one was action. This is totally going to be survival horror, which is going to be awesome. Like I'm kind of keen to see a Remedy take on that because they already do a lot of that suspense and psychological sort of stuff through the usually it's TV sets and those sort of things. Like they're hitting up through the TV sets and that sort of thing with stuff that's going on across a lot of different games. So I'll be curious to see how they try and do it with this. They might try and go down a similar path. They may not, but yeah, Alan Wake 2 is looking pretty sweet. So 2023 for that one apparently. Oh, and just on Suicide Squad, they're saying 2022. There is no way that game's coming out next year.
I thought it was 2023.
Oh, did they shift? I know they'd been talking for 2022 for a long time. Maybe I missed that little bit in the trailer. Did they say that in the trailer or something?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to when it was getting released. I was just like, oh yeah, cool, move on to the next one. But saying that there is a remaster for Alan Wake, does that mean there's going to be a new GTA game since they've done a remaster for all those three?
I mean, there will be eventually. When they think they can't squeeze anything more out of it. Oh, well, that'll never happen, so we'll never get the game.
Stop playing it, you fools. It's the reason why there's no GTA game. Oh, we like GTA 5. Give us a new one. Stop playing it.
Yeah, just stop playing it.
Stop it. It's because Dr. Dre, or someone looked like Dr. Dre. I don't think it was Dr. Dre.
Yeah, no, Dr. Dre.
It was Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he's in a new piece of
good.
DLC.
I thought I was going down the wrong track there for a second. I was like, oh, no. It looks like Dr. Dre.
Nailed that one.
What?
What's your next one?
Next one, well, speaking of Remedy,
Crossfire.
Crossfire, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because they're gone from a third person, which is, I've known what Remedy games are, to a first person shooter, which is going to be very interesting. And being
mechanically, they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but every time I see it go into a different perspective, you just go, oh no. I know it's never really a problem, but every time they sort of change from third to first person.
There's always a risk.
Because being that,
like Resident Evil,
you are Resident Evil or Far Cry, where they make your character talk, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. It looks good. A lot of explosions. I like explosions.
Explosions are always good.
That's always going to be a thing. Are they going to go down that control?
I was just almost going to go with Mr. Torg explosions from Borderlands, but
I forgot about the old Tiny Tina.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention for me as well. But
yeah,
I guess I
forgot about it. Because when you said Talk, I was like, hey, I remember seeing him.
Yeah, he's in the Tiny Tina trailer too, which was cool.
Tiny Tina trailer. I was like, I forgot about you. Some DLC character that I only ever saw in 2. I don't know if it was in 3. I don't know. No, it wasn't.
I don't remember seeing Talk in 3.
Only the guns. You hear his voice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I'm glad he's back.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the best parts of Borderlands.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what Crossfire does. Are they going to go down that path of the Alan Wake Control, like sci-fi type?
Well, keep in mind, Crossfire's like a giant franchise already.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's massive in Korea. Like it's been a multiplayer game for years and years and years and years, and it's just that they've got Remedy on board to do this campaign thing. So mechanically, it won't be an issue because that's already done. Basically, they're just having to design a world and like kind of a bit more level design in terms of a linear, I guess, linear path through a world or whatever it is you got to do. So that's kind of Remedy's strength, I guess, and they don't have to worry about the pivot to different systems. They can save all their creative energy in terms of gameplay to Alan Wake 2. So, yeah, pretty cool one. I guess while we continue with I just referenced the number 2 for a second, so that was a horrible segue. Hellblade 2 is my next one though. It opened the core show. It looked amazing. The trailer went a little bit long. But
yes,
it was gameplay.
I think half the time was watching a big giant with one arm go to sleep, and then they bloody disrupted him by throwing oil and burned the poor person.
And eventually just seemed to wash off him, and then he was fine. But
just the wind came along and just blew the flames off. I was thought, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, it was a bit weird in that respect.
I don't remember Fire doing that.
And they obviously like Ninja Theory really goes for like the highest end possible graphics and realism and that sort of thing. The way those spears were being thrown now, like it kind of, yes, it's this big giant thing, and it's probably it's skins probably, or it's whatever, its exterior is fairly hard, I'm guessing. But the way those spears like kind of left their hands, it was pretty like powder puff style throws from the look of it.
Maybe they were hoping no one would notice that as everyone was looking at the visuals of the trailer and just, all right, no one's going to look at the spear thrown. No one,
Like
no one's
a
going to pay
lot of
attention to that.
intent, like a lot of body being put behind it, but then it comes out of the hand like you've just gone, you know, anyone who's kind of learning to throw the first time and they just kind of throw over the top.
So it's pretty much throwing with your non-natural hand, pretty much.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, it's almost as though they'll throw them with their non-preferred for sure. Because I mean, yes, like I understand that deflecting off them that kind of makes sense, but at least look like there's a bit of heat on the throw. So that, I mean, that's maybe something for them to, I don't know, tweak the animation or even just the speed that the spear comes out of the hand, so it just looks like there's actually a bit of energy between. Because yeah, just the way the speed with which the spears flew from the hand didn't match the amount of kind of energy that was into the throw. I guess it's a really small nitpick. Like I get it, but it annoyed me. But the game itself, like you've got to set that aside. I mean, Hellblade's looking amazing. I love the first one. Some people go, no, that's not actually gameplay. They lied to us. No, that'll be gameplay. Like that's 100% how they presented the first Hellblade. Obviously not with the same.
That running looks like gameplay to me.
Yeah, so I'm totally in on that. It looks pretty great. What's your next one?
My next one is I think it's a PlayStation exclusive one.
Oh.
Forspoken.
Yeah, cool. That's on my list too. We can tick that one off together. How good does this shit look?
It does look good. I think the whole doing some snowboarding or wakeboarding on some water with your ice.
She's just a waterbender.
Board.
It's an Avatar game.
I'm just looking at it going, this is looking Dark Souls like, but it might not be.
But without the ridiculous difficulty.
Exactly, yeah. But it looks like an upgraded version. There was another Square Enix game there. It just looked like.
What was the other one?
I'll wait for it. Let me find it on my piece of paper. Babylon's Fall.
Oh, let's not talk about Babylon's Fall.
So I was looking at it going, this is like the people like, right, your job on Forspoken's not great, but hey, put you in a group there. You can make your own little game that's...
Well, see, Babylon's Fall, that's platinum, though.
Is it?
Yeah. Which is just so, like, it just seems so weird that they'd be putting out something that looks so shit.
I just looked at it and just went...
Yeah, they've done Nier, they're working on Bayonetta, they've done a whole bunch of awesome things, and this just...
And this...
Like, you've got an art style that looks
happened?
like shit, and then gameplay, it just doesn't seem right either. Now, admittedly, they're not immune to putting out shit games. They did put out Star Fox Zero. They're the ones responsible for that turd.
They put out Star Fox Zero?
They're the ones who developed Star Fox Zero for Nintendo, yeah. And then they also did, like, there was a Transformers game, which wasn't too bad. There was a Korra game, like, I guess speaking of Avatar, there was a Korra game that they made, which was pretty rubbish. Like, there was a period there where they kind of had, it was almost like a 3-game deal. I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might have been the third one. They had, like, a license deal with Activision there, and they kind of farmed out some pretty shitty games for a while there. I can't help but feel like maybe the talent that put those 3 titles together is the same talent that's working on Babylon's Fall, but only because it looks shit. But yeah, the main game we were talking about though, yeah, Forspoken, like what else do you like about it?
I think just the combat. The combat looked really smooth. I think just the way you move around as well. Just going from mountain to mountain. It's going to be an interesting story going from someone from the future. Or
I still remember the first trailer. Is that a fucking dragon?
It's like this person coming back and has magical hands of ice and God knows what else.
Yeah, who knows what she can do now?
Fantasyland. I can make a snowboard out of ice.
I don't know. I'm all over
like any game. It'd be like any game. You'll probably get that at the end of the game, which will just disappoint me.
Look, that'd be a shame. But I mean, like the writing talent, and I mean, look, we've not seen a lot in terms of what the actual story is going to be, or you know, kind of too much of the dialogue between characters. Like, really, everyone just remembers a bit like what I did there. The holy fuck, is that a dragon? Like, you know, that's the fish out of water sort of response. But the rest of it, we don't know that much about. But when you've got Gary Whitta working on it, who, you know, Gary Whitta, Book of Eli, Star Wars, Rogue One. Yeah.
A guy that actually wrote movies.
Yeah, but also games as well. Like he did the first season of Telltale's Walking Dead, which is one of the best stories in games ever. As far as I'm concerned, I think a fair few people would agree with me. Like Gary Whitta's an incredible talent, so he's on it. Amy Hennig lent her services for a while. So Amy Hennig being Uncharted, the lead one for Uncharted 1, 2, 3 before things got ugly and she left.
Was it a Star Wars game? Yeah, no, Marvel game.
Yeah, and now she's working on a Marvel game at the moment. So, like, and I'm sure there's others too. The names are just escaping me. I'm sure there was a third name that I saw. Todd Stashwick, maybe. I don't know. Either way, there's some super talented people working on the game on the writing side, so I'm backing that in to be really good. And then, yeah, to your point, the gameplay just looks sweet. Like, just looks like it would play like an absolute dream. So, I'm real keen on it. I'll throw back to you again because that was going to be the next game that I was going to talk about anyway. So,
okay, my next game. Something that kind of threw me off by who was developing this game, and that is Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm guessing that's one of your games.
I'll talk about that soon enough.
Yeah,
that's my number one.
Was it a Quantum Dream game?
Yeah, Quantic Dream. Yeah.
People that made Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human,
Beyond Two Souls.
It's going to be interesting. Beyond Two Souls,
which is the trash one.
Yeah, that's the very average one.
Yeah.
Even William Dafoe couldn't save that game.
Yeah, exactly right.
But
and
a quick time.
Then Alan Page, now Elliot Page. Yeah, couldn't save that.
Page. Enough about Beyond Two Souls. Let's talk about Star Wars instead.
Yeah, let's talk Star Wars.
It's going to be interesting, I say, because a quick time Star Wars game. How's that going to go over with
well, it may not just be quick time. Like, did you play Detroit?
Yes.
Like, there's obviously still lots of quick time, but they do open up a little bit more. Like, there's a little bit more going on between quick time events these days. A little bit more interaction and that sort of thing.
But there's a fair point.
Yeah, there could be a little bit more to it. Like I said, it's my number one, so I may as well just embrace that now and lean into it. This is the game I enjoyed the most from the show. Just tonally, what it's going for is, this High Republic setting, which we haven't seen much about. I've got one or two of the books, but like to sit down and read a book at the moment is not easy with all the games I'm trying to cover. First world problem, but I just haven't gotten around to them yet. Keen to do so, and playing it through a game is just the most enjoyable format for me to kind of dive into some Star Wars stuff. So maybe outside of the movies. So I'm real keen on it. Actually, no, I'll save my other thoughts on that little part of it for a little bit later on when we're talking about the show full, big picture. But yeah, my number one game of the show, just everything looks really sweet about it. Still don't know that much, and I'll put my faith, like, for the few people, and I guess Player 2 editor Matt Hewson, I know you're not big on Quantic Dream games. I think the fact that it's a Star Wars game and the fact that as a result of that you're going to have both Disney and Lucasfilm involved in as well means that anyone who doesn't like some of David Cage and the team's stuff over the journey may just... There's more chance that you might be happy with it, because if any of the sort of weird, quirky shit that he's thrown in there in the past, and maybe even just a few things that kind of gets lost in translation because they're a French studio versus, and everything's coming across to English, and there might be some just weird stuff that comes from kind of the language barrier. I don't think that'll be there with this, so you should be more confident in this than I think any other Quantic Dream game, and it's Star Wars and in a cool setting. Everything looks cool about it. Like, get hyped.
There might be Yoda in there. We don't know.
Well, there is. He's in the trailer.
He's in the trailer, but is that just misleading people? Go, oh my God, it's Yoda. C-3PO's in there, or C-3PO without clothes on. I guess
I've got to check. When is the High Republic set in relation to the rest of the?
I believe, by my guess, would be before Episode 1.
Yeah, it's definitely before, but I feel like it's still significantly before. 200 to 300 years before the Battle of Yavin, which is known as the Battle of the Death Star, which occurred in New Hope.
Oh,
so I don't. I mean, I guess they're droids, but I don't know whether that actually allows C-3PO. But obviously checks out for Yoda because he's old as fuck.
Old? Is he just a youngin then? But
I don't know.
wouldn't he be like...
You scream and wail and jump around like he did against Dooku, and everyone will get real upset.
Yeah, he's a younger Yoda. He could just fly around. No one would be able to get him. Just bang, done.
Imagine what he's like 200 years younger, 200, 300 years younger. It's going to be epic.
No walking stick, nothing. Just casually walking around. With his floating seat, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows what the other Jedis will be like.
I guess so. I've now already discussed my number one, so I'll throw to kind of my other game that wasn't my number one. It's probably the game I'm still most excited for next year. I just assume that Star Wars Eclipse isn't coming out next year. Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, yes.
Now like maybe that's Sony Pony, PlayStation shill coming out of me. Hell, I went today to the other side of the city just to try out a Ratchet and Clank themed dessert, like whatever. So it's on my Twitter feed. People go check it. Hashtag PlayStation to play. It was like a trifle mousse thing, all Ratchet and Clanky. It was pretty sweet, pretty keen. But anyway, Horizon Forbidden West is obviously like ticking so many boxes already. I love the first one, and then I guess my one little moment of hesitation with what they've shown so far was that maybe that Tremor Tusk, the big elephant machine that we'd seen in past trailers, it felt like, oh, you're gonna kind of go with all the old monsters, and then the old machines, we might see a Thunderjaw and that sort of thing, and some of the others, and then that was kind of about it outside of the Tremor Tusk. Like that might be the big new thing, but there's heaps.
They showed more new things.
There was heaps, yeah. Like that I think that was the real basis of the trailer. Now the performance beforehand was really, really cool as well. What they put on there, but in terms of just the game and that side of things exclusively, like they showed this giant snake machine thing right at the very end, which that made me cringe a little bit. But like I looked, I've kind of freeze framed it and gone, they look like the spots there. Like there's kind of some big, like down kind of the top, high up near its head, just below where, I guess for us, like the equivalent of our throat there. There's
already studied it before the game.
Oh, I'm studying it, like trying to work out. Okay, that's where I'm going. I reckon that's it. Like you take those out, and that's the big key to rolling this thing. But
imagine if Gorilla just got, nah, we're changing it on you.
Suck shit. You got to cut off its tail now. Its tail's the size of a truck.
Go for the fangs.
Yeah. Oh no, that'll be bad news. It bares its teeth, and you got to shoot the tooth out. Even like when you're underwater there, we'd obviously seen a little bit of underwater stuff in one of the... I think the first time we saw gameplay, they showed a little bit of underwater stuff there, but it was really just like a means to an end. Like you dive underwater to kind of keep out of line of sight for humans at the time that were after you. So it was good to see like there's actually like big machines under there, like giant, again, kind of, I guess your undersea equivalent of a Thunderjaw or whatever that's kind of undersea there. It was... And it came for like they showed off a whole bunch of, and I used the Thunderjaw as the basis because that was the giant, the biggest thing, the most intimidating thing, the one that kind of was put at the forefront of all the marketing. In fact, when we saw the game the first time and we got gameplay for the very first time, it was the Thunderjaw that Aloy was fighting. It was all that sort of stuff. That
on the front cover, there's a Thunderjaw,
there's
not the collector's edition, the actual
case,
day one release.
Yeah, you're right, it is. So it seems like they're trying to introduce a few more that are kind of on that equivalent. I was worried it was just the Tremor Tusk, but we've got more. So I'm pretty excited to get in the game. It's only 2 months away from now. So get hyped. So for you, that was the fourth one. So you've got your fifth game, the game you enjoyed the most to talk about.
Well, technically, wasn't really a game.
Oh, so you've already played this as well, or tried this, haven't you?
Oh no, I was just going to go with the Matrix Resurrections, just the movie trailer itself, not even the games.
Oh, I mean, it was pretty cool.
Was pretty cool. I was like, wasn't too sold on the movie. I thought, I don't know. Then I thought, oh, now you have my attention. But nice. I did also play the free Matrix.
Yeah, Matrix Awakens.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's not really. I wouldn't call it a game. It's more
it's a tech demo, right?
It's a display of what games will look like in the future. Even that whole trailer thing of Keanu, I believe it's not even Keanu.
That it's all digital.
All digital.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, look, he would have been mocapped. They've mocapped him.
Yeah, mocap, but it's all digital. Even the where he's sleeping on the computer, all digital. That threw me off. It was Morpheus is going, what is real? And then I'm starting to ask myself that question. Like, I don't know what's real anymore. Is that Keanu real? Is that Carrie-Anne Moss
The
real?
answer's no. The answer's definitely no.
No, it's definitely no. It is not real.
I haven't tried it out yet. So, like, how long does this thing go for?
Oh, it's not long. It's like 10, 15 minutes max. You have the big shootout.
Player 2 plays. It's sitting on the back end. People, you will have seen this on the Player 2 YouTube channel by now. It's available for you to go and get. So go check out Matto's Player 2 plays or Player 2 watches.
Pretty much just displays like big shootout, what can happen, explosions. Then you just explore the city for as long as you want.
Yeah, right. Okay. Still
and
pretty cool.
You can change a few things here and there. It allows you to adjust the daytime, which I forgot to do, but
the video goes for 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think about 15 of that's just me trying to see if I can actually do anything else or...
Oh, yeah, okay. So if you just went start to finish, it wouldn't take as long.
No.
Fair enough. I'm keen to try it out. I might try and, especially if that's, it's only 15-ish minutes long, I might do that tonight. Have that experience. Well, that's all 5 of our kind of favourite games. Any other games you want to just shout out? A little honourable mention there?
I'll shout out the Cuphead DLC. I've not played Cuphead, but the way they presented it in the old 1930s style of just little puppets and all this stuff, I thought...
Oh, yeah, there's the puppets. There was the performance as well.
The performance as well. I thought, if you're going for best video trailer, to me, that would be the winner.
Yeah, they presented themselves better than any other game there. And look, Jeff gave them the stage to do it. Like there was the performance first, that through to the trailer, which as you mentioned, the puppets, and then the gameplay itself looked fantastic as well. I'd heard, obviously the Delicious Last Courses, like the DLC, there's been referenced for quite some time, but I'd never equated Delicious Last Course to DLC. That just
I got straight away. I looked at it when I saw that Delicious Last Course or whatever, I thought, that is brilliant.
It's only when they said DLC Island, I'm like, oh, right, yeah, okay. It's all clicked.
Right.
I don't know how, we've known about the Delicious Last Course for, I don't know, 18 months, but I had no idea. It just didn't trigger. I'm a dipshit. Any others?
The New Caledonia one, was it?
Oh, Chia, whatever it is, yeah.
Whatever, the Zelda one, but it looks good. I thought for a second watching it going, is this just one of these friendly games you just roam around, not kill anyone?
Everyone's happy and
then all of a sudden just shoot someone in the head. I thought, oh, no, it's just an innocent looking kid then go, nuts, stuff here, I'm going to throw this lantern into you guys and burn you.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it, which was good. Bit Zelda-ish, but it's got the possession and all those sort of things, which kind of makes it stand apart. I don't know. I'm just not... There's something about it that's just not clicking for some reason. I like all the core elements, but it's just not jiving yet. But maybe I just need like narrative context or something. What else have you got?
I'll put in Sonic Frontiers as well. It looks interesting, but I know what I said.
Beware the werehog. They've gone big with stuff in the past and let everyone down. Yeah. This could be another one of them.
If that gets let down, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 looks pretty damn good.
Oh, the trailer looks sweet. I haven't seen the first movie, but I'm totally keen to watch the first movie now.
If anyone's not watched Sonic, go watch it. It's the best video game movie ever.
Outside of Detective Pikachu? Or better?
I haven't seen Detective Pikachu, but...
Okay, Detective Pikachu's amazing.
Well, by a long shot, the best movie film I've ever seen. I watched Monster Hunter early this year. Rubbish.
So did I.
Absolutely
I wanted to stab myself in the eye.
It's like, this is not even close to Monster Hunter. Yes, there's a Diablo. Yes, you keep saying Diablo. Yes, I know what a Diablo is. Okay, just relax. I know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you got to kill it. Like, usually it takes you about 20 minutes to kill it. Not an hour and a half. Then, all of a sudden, a ship turns up. Big fire-breathing dragon. Then the movie ends. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't very good.
And then speaking of Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak. Yeah.
Oh, Sunbreak, yeah.
Let's just say it already looks better than that Sonic crap that they put out a couple of weeks ago.
Wouldn't take much.
Not that hard.
But to be fair, the Sonic stuff is just cosmetic. So I'll give
It
him
is. But you just look at it and go, what the hell is that? And my
Yeah.
final one is just the Tiny Tina trailer.
Yeah, I'm with you. Looks real good. I guess on top of that, I'll add Nightingale, which was the new game announced by Aaron Flynn. He used to work at BioWare, and he's kind of started. It's a kind of fantasy, kind of high-ish fantasy RPG, but there's guns in it as well. And
So it looks very Outer Worlds Fallout.
yeah, it kind of fits that sort of mold a little bit, but has that real fantasy sort of thing. So it's not going to give me the shits like Fallout does. Presumably, I hope. We'll see. A Plague Tale 2 looked pretty cool as well. What else? Somerville, the little indie game there that just puts on a real good show every single time. That could be one of those ones that we're talking about in a really, really positive way in, I don't know, a year or whenever it comes out, like in that kind of game of the year sort of conversation that Hades was or that Journey was back in the day, those sorts of things. And as much as we saw absolutely nothing of it, it's just, I guess, a hope and promise thing. Wonder Woman, the announcement for Wonder Woman there, which was kind of cool.
Showed absolutely bugger all.
Yeah, they showed absolutely nothing. They just said it's a thing.
They just showed Wonder Woman's outfit. That was pretty much it.
Press release talks about how they're using the Nemesis system, so as in from Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, because that's obviously the same team that made it. So that's...
No, dude. Please don't go down the path of Shadow of whatever the second war. Don't go down that path.
Yeah, that was too much. Dial it back a little bit. You had it right the first time.
Yeah. Go the first one, not the second one.
Yeah. So those were kind of our favourite games from the show. The awards themselves, you happy? Happy? Unhappy?
I will say, for the second straight year in a row, we got the Content Creator of the Year correct. Can't believe the best looking profile picture of Dreams or whatever his name is won.
Apparently Dreams is a piece of shit. Apparently.
Is he?
Dead set, apparently a massive piece of shit, and so people are mortified that he was even nominated, let alone then going on to win.
Oh, I wonder how
I guess
much
it's a
money...
popularity contest, so...
Yeah. But, I say, Game of the Year was an interesting one.
I was surprised.
Because when you said Deathloop won the award before that, but it didn't win the Game of the Year. And It Takes Two, what was the other one? Best Family Game.
Best Family Game.
That was
it won its categories, so it always had, I guess, a chance, but its categories didn't involve its competitors. It didn't have it's. I actually thought, after how things were progressing, I thought Metroid was going to win, because there was one category that Metroid, I thought, and I think we discussed it. I thought Deathloop was the front runner. Not that I agreed, but it just seemed to be like the darling. Yeah, and it won. Yeah, definitely won a few things, but I think there was one category, and it was certainly something that was kind of the best game in whatever it's might have been the action adventure one.
Action adventure, yeah, it was. Yeah. Metroid won that.
Yeah, Deathloop was in action and action adventure. Metroid was just in action adventure, and Metroid won. So okay, there you go. There's your winner. It's done. And then Deathloop won Returnal won game direction. So I was like, okay, now this just makes no sense anymore. Like, what's going on here? It's up against all the other Game of the Year nominees, and it won, but. Yeah, whatever.
I reckon it was just to rub it in Take-Two's face. Just say, hey.
There's a few people that have been suggesting conspiracy, that sort of thing, and obviously Joseph Fares with his "fuck the Oscars," which he referenced when he was up there, and he's a good mate of Jeff Keighley. People are suggesting that. I don't buy into that for a second. Like, at the end of the day, that's the judges are the press and the influencers and those sorts of things. So they're the ones that make the call. But it's odd. Like, I love the game. It's a fantastic game, and after winning it and kind of letting my wife know, she's like, we should play that again. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Deathloop won Best Game Direction.
Oh, so what's the one that Returnal beat him out in?
Let me have a look. I'll go through it all. Returnal
beat him in a category that I can't remember what it was, but considered it to be a kind of big deal when it came to... Maybe I'm misremembering.
If I get there, come on, I'm getting close.
Just scrolling through the list.
Scrolling through. No. It was Best Action Game. Returnal won.
Oh, against Deathloop.
Against Deathloop. Yeah.
So at that point, I thought, okay, like it's that one. I just thought, okay, well, that just highlights the fact that the fact that it's not in the game of the year, the actual game of the year group makes absolutely no sense. Like the inconsistencies are ridiculous there. But anyway, like setting that aside, it's okay. That maybe says a bit that Metroid won its thing. Deathloop didn't win its thing. Metroid wins, and then it didn't. And then obviously Deathloop won direction. So I was incredibly confused at this point, and then that's it. Also, the little thing that I learnt since the Game Awards is that every game that in the last until this year, I guess, the game that's won the Action Adventure Award for the last 5 years has won Game of the Year. So again, I thought, okay, that's Metroid.
Metroid has let them down.
It's probably because Doug Bowser got up there and basically just dropped a promotion for the game and didn't actually accept the award. He just promoted Metroid more. Let's just try and sell some more copies, all right?
Doug, there's a time and place for that, Doug. It's not there.
So yeah, the awards.
Metroid Prime 4, Doug.
Yeah, get your team on track with that one. So that's. I mean, any other thoughts on any of the awards at all?
Yes, we got best voice actor right as well. The Resident Evil lady won it.
Nerds get hard-ons for big, tall vampire women.
For some reason, I think we got most of the esports stuff right, which we know absolutely nothing about.
We're closet esports fans. We just haven't been telling people.
Massive.
Yeah.
It's our secret thing.
I mean, I just gravitated towards the guy that had the name Simple because he's a simple person.
Who won?
And turned out he won. Yeah.
Who won?
And the one thing I did realize, remember I wavered on, like, so it was the international I ended up going for, but it was the CSGO thing that won. Like, I went for the CSGO thing and then changed to the international, and that blew up in my face, that one. Should have trusted my gut. I know esports. We both know esports. Like,
well, we know
better
our
than anyone else, apparently.
We know our teams.
Yeah. We know how to pronounce those names. We're doing a great job.
Yeah.
All right. So, as we wrap things up, overall thoughts of the show. Were you happy? Were you not?
If I watched it, sure, but I have no comment. I'll still say
you just watched the individual trailers afterwards, right?
Yeah, you say It Takes Two. Still, to me, I'll scratch my head over, gone. Okay, so I know it was like a level playing field, but I never thought.
No,
to me, It Takes Two is the Stephen Bradbury of those 6. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, you could make an argument for it or for Psychonauts. They were kind of the two quirky outside chances.
Yeah.
And Psychonauts just got horribly snubbed, as did Ratchet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Ratchet.
Ratchet got no love at all.
Ratchet,
even the accessibility one, I got that one wrong.
I got that right.
That was Forza.
I said Forza.
You went Forza, yeah. I just didn't expect that to happen because they just took everything that The Last of Us had done and Spider-Man had done the year before, which got the win, and then they added to it. Like they took all those things, put them in there, and then added even more on top. Like, you can't lose. Apparently, people, again, maybe inconsistencies, whatever.
No, you want to know why Forza 5 won that? Because it has puddles. Plenty of them.
Oh, they nailed the puddles. It's the Insomniac problem. They can't get their puddles right. No, I'm sure there was puddles. There was puddles in Ratchet, I'm sure of it. I can't remember.
Who knows?
Yeah, there was. There was like a rainy world. Anyway, who cares? That's clearly not the reasoning. I was happy with the way the majority of it played out. The show was way too long. 3 hours was insane. Or 3.5 hours when you add the pre-show in there as well.
So the Oscars don't even go for that long.
No. That's because they're not just pumping out trailers for games. Or their newest film. Like, it's all the awards for the most part. Jeff's in a weird spot where he's like, he needs to finance the show. The financing comes from those who want to throw their games, their ads basically at the thing. That's how it's funded, but it means it gets pretty bloated. I feel like this year maybe was it worse because of the fact that COVID's interrupted so much that maybe some people who might have had some stuff for last year weren't ready in the end, and so they were ready to roll out this year, and so this year was just absolutely nuts. Like, it was trailer after trailer after trailer. So many of the ongoing games all showed up, your Rocket Leagues and those sort of things. Warhammer 40k Vermintide was there far too many times. At least it wasn't Homeworld 3 popping up 50 times in the Gearbox thing this time. It was just, this year was more than any other, was really, really clear that it's a big advert first and foremost, and then the awards come second, which I didn't really like.
So they've gone the 2K treatment of just, hey, everyone gets their own ad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nike, Adidas, everyone.
Yeah. Like Jeff did a decent, like the Facebook gaming ads that pop up, like they at least, which are meant to be kind of shouting at community stuff that's going on, they at least pulled out some people / figures that are not of the normal kind of straight white dude sort of pathway, and you know, put some different perspectives out there, which was good. But at the end of the day, it's still a Facebook ad. There was all those sorts of things that were a little bit frustrating. It was just too advert heavy. The awards, yes, there's some weird inconsistencies, but I can deal with it because it's not a Jeff deal. He did a great job with the speech at the very beginning of the show, which kind of he didn't name Activision, but pointed out the fact that their shit is just so horribly wrong at the moment. But, and I haven't heard nearly enough about this on the internet so far anyway. It might be out there and I just have missed it, but he called out all that stuff. And this is now me throwing a bit of shade, and I mentioned before that I was going to come back to Star Wars. He threw a whole bunch of shade at Activision and referenced, you know, other people online and all that sort of thing that do horrible shit and harassment or abuse or whatever, and that it all needs to be stopped. And like, it was a really, really strong statement. It was fantastically delivered. And then the very first game that he announced, like new game that he announced, was Star Wars Eclipse, which is developed by Quantic Dream, headed by David Cage.
I have a great history of
who abuses all of his team. Like, he's gone to court and was just an absolute child. Him and a couple others on the leadership team were just children. Like, that's why, like, in part what I was referencing before. So as well as, you know, in terms of just for those who aren't super keen necessarily on the quality of the writing or whatever for past Quantic Dream games, you know, this might help. The Disney and Lucasfilm presence might help. I think that might also help when it comes to some of the studio stuff. If you've got some of these figures in here and something happens that they don't like, they might go, "No, fuck you, we're out. You're done. We're not going to get involved in this sort of shit."
Contract in front of David Cage and just slowly start to tear it.
So I'm hopeful that maybe their presence also has a big part to play in that. But regardless, like the weird double standard, and I say the first announcement because the game that came beforehand was Hellblade 2. Like, Hellblade 2 was shown off first, but the actual first new game, like their big world premiere, here's the next big thing, blah 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 blah. The show stealer for a lot of people, you know, for a number of people, certainly including myself, and it comes from that team. Like, that's not great. So.
Jeff.
The message was good, and if you had the announcement, that was locked in, and obviously I'm sure you had that locked in well before the Activision stuff went down. And so probably had the Activision stuff not gone down, you wouldn't have had anything to say, and people would just go, "No, he's showing off games," but you've made this statement and then revealed the game 10 minutes later. Like, you should have kicked that to the end of the show or something like that, or made it the closer, so that, you know, there's a big gap, something like that, so it's not so obvious that you've got, like, you've just taken a lot of money to make this happen as well. But that, I guess, is another part of the whole thing as well, is that something like that these days with the Game Awards, it's not a show closing thing. They can't do it like that anymore because, I mean, the Game Awards numbers, they've been trending up for the last 5 years. I'm starting to hear that they might have even crossed 100 million viewers for this most recent one. But retention for, you know, with the number of games that you've got, retention's going to be an issue. Like, you're not going to keep people for the entire 3.5 hours. So they're going to front load it with all their biggest announcements. And that's, like, if you think about the majority of the games that we mentioned, some of our favorites, they were all in the first hour to an hour and a half. Outside of the Matrix, which, you know, closed the show, of course. But Hellblade began it. Star Wars immediately afterwards. Alan Wake 2 in the first hour. Nightingale kind of somewhere towards the middle, certainly not the back end. Horizon was there, like, Forspoken was early. Like, all of these things were really early in the show, because I think they know that people are going to eventually click off. But
do something else.
Yeah, but you need to realize that they're clicking off because you're not giving them reasons to stick around. So if you pace this stuff out, stretch it out a little bit, not stretch the show. It's already long enough.
For the Horizon.
Yeah, tease people along the way if you can. Now that I guess he didn't this year tease any of the games beforehand. So I guess that maybe makes it a bit harder. Maybe the studios weren't prepared to say, "Hey, you can announce that our game's going to be there." but I don't know, something to kind of tease what's to come, and that way you can kind of stretch some of those out, because it really started to drag in that last hour to an hour and a half.
So 3.5 hours is a lot.
It's a long time. It's a good thing it helped me get through the meeting. But
Not even a cricket match lasts that long. Or a football match. Or sports.
Footy for sure. Event. A lot of sport starts and finishes in less time. Cricket's not a good example, but
T20.
Even T20 runs longer these days. I took a look at the game the other night and it went for 4 hours.
What? Used to be 3.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
It's getting bloated. But, yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my big concern with the show. Mainly the Star Wars thing and the length. What about you? Any other thoughts?
Nah. I just find it funny when you said that he's talking about this whole Activision thing there, and you said the first trailer was Star Wars. I thought, no.
Yeah, you as soon as I announced it, so you knew enough about what was going on with Quantic to know that was going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Admittedly, look, of those 100 million people that were watching,
probably not many would know.
5 to 10 million maybe know what's actually going on there, and then only 1 million probably cares.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, and I'll admit, I spoke about how it was the game I enjoyed the most from the showcase. There's that then choice that you got to make afterwards, which is, am I going to let this stuff impact my purchase here? Because if I buy the game, I'm giving money to these assholes that are creating, and this is the same stuff that everyone's discussed for Ubisoft and for Activision and that sort of thing. And I'm on the side of, yes, I really don't want to support David Cage as a person, or I don't want to support Bobby Kotick at Activision, or I don't want to support whoever else elsewhere.
You want to support the developers, the people that make it.
Yeah, if there's, and again, I've referenced when we were talking about Activision and when we were talking about Diablo 2 specifically, that I think it was Alana Pierce she'd spoken to a whole bunch of Activision developers, and they were all saying, no, please buy the game. There's bonuses attached to this, and we're trying to look after our families. These bonuses are important to us if we sell enough, or we get, well, hopefully not the Metacritic score thing, that hopefully that sort of idea is dead, but selling enough copies, that sort of thing, and then we get bonuses. I want those people to earn the money that they need to get their living. So it's a similar sort of thing here. I don't want the people who've been abused to then miss out on money as well.
Yeah, all you got to do is, if old Bob comes up on the stage, you just
throw a tomato at him. Yeah,
just boo him. Don't cheer him, just boo him.
Look, it was never going to happen. Jeff mentioned beforehand that there was nothing Activision had, but
because booing is free.
It is free.
It is free. You don't have to pay for it. You can just boo him all you want.
Yeah, and look, I can. Anyone. I'm not going to get upset with anyone, and this is, I guess, extends to Hogwarts Legacy as well, which has its issues. Not in terms of studio culture that we've heard, but the way people think about J.K. Rowling and those sort of things. If you don't want to buy the game because of what you believe in, all credit to you. I'm not going to argue with it, because I actually agree with your perspective on these various different things. It's just, I guess, when you dive into the minutiae, for me, I want to make sure that everyone else is still okay. I want to make sure they're all supported. Yes, it sucks that we're giving money to the corporates that that are doing all these horrible things, but there's the little guy that still needs to be looked after as well. So I don't know. That's my thing. Jeff, you could have just spaced the announcement out. That's all it would have taken. An hour later.
What about the end of the awards?
Imagine if they closed with that. That would have been that would have rocked the joint.
And then Keanu comes through and goes, "No, sorry."
Sorry, my bad. We still got to talk about Matrix. It's out now. You're breathtaking. I was hoping he'd make a breathtaking reference. Didn't.
No, but I think you have to leave that at E3 2019 or whatever it was.
But he's been interviewed since the Game Awards, or maybe even before, with anyone who kind of knew what was going on. And he's spoken about how happy he is that PC modders of Cyberpunk are modding the game in such a way that they can have sex with him.
Oh,
he's having a great time with the gaming community.
And then he was making jokes. It was that NFTs or whatever as well.
Oh yeah, lots of people throwing shit at NFTs. Good.
NFTs, and he's making fun of it and laughing at the same time. He's having a jolly old time with this.
Because if you won't laugh, you cry. All right. Any other thoughts?
Nah, that's it. Keanu's a nice guy, and that's all we have to say.
Yeah, he's a great person, and actually, sorry to was the other half Carrie even referenced there at all? I feel like all Jeff did was talk to Keanu, and she had to inject herself in at points.
Like, hi guys, I'm here too.
I don't think she was addressed at any stage, which was a bit shit.
Because everyone just knows who Keanu is.
Yeah.
Alright, still, you promote a movie, you gotta talk to both of them.
Talk to both of them, please. Do you like games? Nah. Okay, great. We'll talk to you. Anyway, that's where we'll wrap things up. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell, that way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes more Patched, Player 2 plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. There's some awesome stuff there. Please subscribe and go and check it out, including Matto's Matrix Player 2 plays, or Player 2 watches, whatever. It's there. Go check it out now. So it's pretty sweet.
Just watch me try to run people over.
Yeah, it'll be good fun.
See what happens.
Visit the website player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, like myself and Matt Houston's full write-up on the Game Awards and everything that we saw, every single game that was announced. We've got something about, so go to the website and check that out. Podcasts, Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary, check them all out. They're all fantastic. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks, lower tiers early access, high tiers monthly episode exclusives. And Matto, Twitter.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website's player2au. Let us know in the comments what your favourite announcements were, what you did and didn't think of the show, or maybe what you didn't think. That's kind of redundant. What you did and didn't like from the show.
Did you not think this whole time? Just like Jeff did when he
I just mashed buttons on the keyboard and there's an answer. But until next week, I just need to check. Do we have one more episode to go? I think we do have one more episode to go. Yeah, we do. This goes live on yep, we have one more episode to go for the year. So tune in next week. It'll probably be, I don't know. We'll work something out. We'll see what happens. Updates? It's a bit soon. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you later.